Let's now focus on technology itself. Sudhir Singh, the CEO at NIIT Technologies, joins us on the show right now. Sudhir, hi, morning. Good to have you on the show. After Baring PE Asia taking majority shareholding, strategically, how is it that you're taking business forward? And is there a need to realign?
As you know, last year, fiscal year 19 was the most successful year, and I underline most for the firm. FY19, quarter one again, as you would have seen, has been a very strong growth quarter for us in a quarter that was, for some of our mid-tier peers, somewhat weaker. Baring's Private Equity Asia has been very supportive of the management and the direction that we've charted for ourselves, which has been transforming very select, again, emphasis, very select industries at their intersect with emerging and post-digital technologies. So the changes that we've done in the past, moving the center of gravity of the leadership to the market, being very aggressive when it comes to recognizing, rewarding employees for significant increments in terms of what they've done, will continue. The strategy continues without any change. What you will see a lot of in the future is a pivot towards the emerging technologies that we've talked about, and our attempt to craft ourselves as what we are internally calling a post-digital company. A post-digital firm, in our point of view, does two things. One, it has a very acute focus on cognitive and tries to embed it across all processes. And second, it's a firm that doesn't look at digital technologies in isolation or attempts to marry just one or two of them together, but tries to make them, and it's a term that we use internally, involute, tries to mesh them together to make them work seamlessly across select processes in either financial services or in travel, which is where we operate.
Right. So what will be the change in the board structure, management bandwidth, and leadership, as well as synergies that you see from Baring's portfolio of companies?
So at this point in time, as you're aware, post the strategic transaction getting consummated in May, there is a reconstituted board. We have a new chairman, Mr. Pradhan, at the helm of it, which is already in effect. On the management front, we do not expect material changes at this point in time. It's a team that's performed extremely well. It's a team that's come off a fantastic FY19 and a very strong quarter one. And moving forward, we do expect to start working and interacting with the portfolio firms that Baring Private Equity Asia has an interest in, and seeing if we can radiate across them as well.
You've left the transformation in NIIT Tech for the last 2 years, and you've taken it to a growth which is above industry average. What is the growth trajectory you're aiming at from next 2 to 3 years?
Last year, our growth constant currency was 17.6 odd %. We haven't given a guidance for this year, and we normally don't. Quarter one for us was a 4% quarter-on-quarter growth. And what I had pointed out at the beginning of this quarter was, given the broader macro environment, given where we stand as a team and as a firm, we expect the growth to be, this year, to be robust, to be profitable, and from our perspective, very importantly, predictable going forward. 3 to 5 years, the time frame that you talked about, I suspect the growth will be driven through the same strategy of hyper-specialization in select industries, and increasingly by our pivot towards the post-digital future powered by emerging technologies that we talked about.
Can you give us a sense of what is the revenue contribution from the UK unit of EMEA, and how's traction looking in the America business?
So at this point in time, as you would have seen from our first quarter results, both the geos were doing well for us. We don't call out UK separately as a geo when we report out our results, but Europe is about 34 odd % of our global revenues. North America is about 49, 50 odd %. We expect growth at this point in time, with the current visibility that we have, to continue to be on the same path that we called out a couple of months back. We expect growth to be, we expect it to be predictable, we expect it to be profitable, and we continue to expect it to be robust.
NIIT Tech's organic growth is estimated to be peer-leading this year, with synergies from Baring portfolio yet to flow through. Will this be the trend for some years ahead as well?
See, I'd like to be, I and my colleagues and the entire organization would like to be industry leading. We suspect that in organic terms, quarter one results were industry leading when it came to growth numbers. But I've always been very hesitant and very cautious and conservative around making bets into the future. Whether we're going to be industry leading or not is going to be contingent on how we perform, and we think, as I've said, we think we will continue to deliver predictable, stable, robust, profitable growth. It's also be a reflection of how our peers perform. So difficult for me to say whether we're going to be number one in the industry, but we do feel that we're in a good place right now, and the growth will continue to be robust. Quarter one, you've seen the numbers, were industry leading. Whether it pans out over the next 3 quarters is still something that we'll see together in the quarters to come.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us this morning and sharing with us the outlook going forward.